Welcome to the Fallout Lounge. And now, here's today's Pod Snack.
That was David Bowie's Space Oddity, a song about a man in complete isolation, dependent on a distant government agency's competency for life support. Bowie recorded it in 1969, so it may lack relevance to today's audiences. Zoom support to Major Tom, anyone? Hello, and welcome to a special shelter-in-place edition of The Doldrums. I'm your host, David Pasquesi. What's the latest, campers? Any new hobbies? So many to choose from, and now's the perfect time to scratch that until recently hard-to-reach self-improvement itch. Maybe you're learning Swahili, or taking up the xylophone, finally, or tinkering away on some ingenious time-saving Wallace and Gromit invention. Because when you're out of work and can't leave the house, who doesn't want to invent something which can shave precious minutes from mundane domestic tasks? What's that? You're not engaging in personal betterment? Well, knock me over with a feathered face mask, and at only $15.98 on Etsy, they're a steal. Of course you aren't doing anything productive. As Kurt Vonnegut, one of our greatest American writers, said, I tell you, we are here on Earth to fart around, and don't let anybody tell you any different. So instead of self-improvement, you're stuffing red vines into your face by the fistful, cataloging social media grievances, draining your Hitachi magic wand batteries to Andrew Cuomo press briefings, and sinking into your mattress like the sloth murder victim in Seven. Kurt, wherever you are, you'll be pleased to know humanity has reached its peak farting around potential. But David, you never leave your studio. Certainly you can provide some stay-at-home pointers. Well, sweet listeners, that is correct. I have been in pandemic training for years. My windowless career choice predestined me to this moment. So here's a pointer. Read a book. My heavens, what kind of monster would suggest that? The kind of monster who plays Goodbye to Love by the Carpenters every Valentine's Day, that's who. Yes, a book. You have no excuse. Switch off the news. Spoiler alert, we're all about to die. Put down your phone. Liking a clever Jane Lynch tweet does not constitute reading. Settle into a comfy chair, not your masturbation chair, the other one, and dig into a hardcover, a weighty tome, a Random House loss leader. Don't skim, you pussy. Wet your finger. Don't touch your face. Use your dog's tongue and flip those glorious, meaty pages with relish. How thick should the book be? Allow me to provide an example. In The Bourne Ultimatum, Jason Bourne bludgeons the Desh Buksani character in the face with a hardbound first edition. That's right, beats him with the book. I couldn't make out the title. The fight sequence was filmed in that tight, shaky cam the franchise popularized, rendering the movies largely unwatchable. But even in a blurry action scene, the most casual Matt Damon fan can ascertain that the lethal prop was a substantial read. That's the size of manuscript you now possess a generous dollop of time to pore over. This is your moment to ingest infinite jest. Not just the infinite jest dust cover in a pathetic attempt to get laid. Didn't work, did it? No, not for me either. What am I reading? An interesting little tract called The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon. 6 bodice-ripping volumes that fairly scream, let's keep this quarantine going another month. I'm about 2/3 through and it's looking like an uphill climb for that plucky little empire. And since Rome was built on 7 hills, an uphill climb there is more complicated. Oh, and in case you're wondering, the situation in ancient Rome looks nothing like what we're seeing in this country today. No parallels whatsoever. Nope, they had politicians bullshitting at the forum, assholes gorging themselves while reclining, for Christ's sakes, and that old end of an empire chestnut, military fetishism. No wonder they went under. Never happened here. Why, did you know one of the most popular shows in ancient Rome involved the exploitation of tigers for the masses' amusement? Crazy, right? Colosseum and chill, anyone? But David, I don't read books, you say. Gee, what a surprise. How about embracing the great indoors then? You should have plenty of room to do it in a dwelling uncluttered by books. Outdoor enthusiasts go on and on about the splendor of nature, this, and the call of the wild, that. But you know who's not driving a carbon-belching SUV and clomping a giant clown shoe carbon footprint to see a fucking shrub? I don't mean to brag, but I was sheltering in studio when that so-called hero, Fauci, was gallivanting around the Hamptons in seersucker shorts and wasting everyone's time with pointless, hope-inducing al fresco commencement speeches. Venturing outside was, and always will be, wildly overrated. My studio has a dorm fridge, a microphone, a phonograph, a vintage Mr. Coffee, and, a dorm fridge. In short, everything a thinking man's misanthrope could wish for. Listen, people, moving forward, a deep copper-toned tan is going to be taken as a sign of herd selfishness. If it's status you want, you're going to want to cultivate a ghostly pallor, and you can only get pastier indoors. The absence of melanin. How better to prepare yourself for a sporty mushroom spore body bag, the latest designer fashion craze from the funeral industry. It's what all the hip corpses will be wearing on the runway this year. One final musing. The great Warren Zevon, knowing he had only months to live, reminded us to, quote, enjoy every sandwich, end quote. Now that your favorite deli smells of sanitary wipes and unemployment, I bet you wish you'd taken his condiment-forward advice, don't you? Zevon was equally prescient when he recorded this next tune, a paean to living your best shelter-in-place life, entitled Splendid Isolation. It is my hope that you and Vonnegut are farting around in atheist heaven, Warren, the only afterlife where you don't have to go anywhere. I'm David Pasquesi, and it'll all be over soon.